Volodymyr Zelensky criticizes a phone call between Olaf Scholz and Vladimir Putin as being like opening Pandora's box. The Dutch Prime Minister says the governing coalition has averted collapse after the resignation of the Finance Secretary due to racist language.
Demonstrators break into the presidential office in Abkhazia in protest over a controversial agreement that would have allowed Russians to buy property in the breakaway region.
Lebanon's caretaker Prime Minister appeals to Iran for help to broker a ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel.
We hebben als kabinet
Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof has said the governing coalition has averted collapse after the resignation of the Finance Secretary. Morocco-born Noura Akbar said she was stepping down on Friday. She cited racist comments made by some ministers who were discussing clashes between Israeli football fans and pro-Palestinian supporters in Amsterdam. Akbar blamed polarizing language for her inability to continue in her post. Schoof said after her resignation that among the four coalition parties, we saw that we wanted to continue. Violence erupted in Amsterdam around last week's football match between Ajax and Maccabi Tel Aviv. A number of Maccabi fans chanted anti-Arab slogans and ripped a Palestinian flag off a building. Some men then carried out hit-and-run attacks on Maccabi fans and people they thought were Jews. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has criticized a phone call between German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Russia's leader Vladimir Putin as being like opening Pandora's box. Zelensky said the call risked making Putin feel less isolated internationally. He also criticized any further negotiations with the Kremlin that don't lead to any meaningful outcomes for Ukraine. Scholz spoke to Putin for the first time in 2 years on Friday. He condemned Russia's war in Ukraine and called on Putin to withdraw Russian troops from Ukrainian territory. He also urged Moscow to engage in negotiations with Kyiv in order to achieve a lasting peace. A statement from the Kremlin said that Putin emphasized any potential agreement must reflect new territorial realities and address the root causes of the conflict. Putin also said the war in Ukraine was a direct result of NATO's aggressive policy.
Thousands of protesters opposing a measure that would have allowed Russians to buy property in Abkhazia, a Russian-backed breakaway region of Georgia, stormed into the region's parliament's building and presidential office on Friday. The protest in the regional capital of Sukhumi on the Black Sea left at least 8 people injured. Opponents of the property agreement say it would drive up prices of apartments and boost Moscow's dominance in the region.
Мы требуем от парламента ввести мораторий на соглашение и на закон об апартаментах. 2 моратория сегодня, если не будет здесь у нашего народа и не будет отставки президента, я думаю, что вы не должны уходить с этой площади.
Amid the unrest, the authorities have already withdrawn the draft law on ratifying the investment agreement with Russia in an attempt to resolve the situation.
Lebanon's caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati has appealed to Iran for help to broker a ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel. Iran is Hezbollah's main backer and is believed to have significant sway over the group. Mikati told a senior advisor to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei that Beirut wants to see an end to the war. A Lebanese official confirmed that Beirut had received a draft proposal from the American ambassador based on UN Security Council Resolution 1701, which ended the last Israel-Hezbollah war in 2006. Hezbollah officials are said to be studying it. Hezbollah began firing rockets into northern Israel the day after Hamas' surprise attack on Israel on the 7th of October last year. Israel escalated its strikes in Lebanon in late September, vowing to cripple Hezbollah and end its barrages on Israel, and launched a ground operation into the country.